Hello, I'm Steve, and thank you for visiting our Patio Heat channel where we provide visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for ideal patio comfort. Check out our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Please tap that like button if you find this video useful as it helps others find our channel. Now let's get heating. Alright, so we have this standalone structure here in this residential application. And so I don't see any major issues other than the fact that we have a steel construction with a awning type of material on top. So that would be considered combustible. Now underneath here, I'm not quite sure what this matrix here truly is. It looks like it could be some sort of structural framing for the awning to sit properly. So I'm not quite sure if that's steel or some other type of material, so not quite sure how to address that, but I will address it the best I can. All right, so let's go right into the drawing that we have. And what we have here is the overall drawing with, let's go ahead and go straight to the dimensions. Dimensions I have here are 12 feet wide by 14 feet deep. And then I have a height of the frame itself about 7 foot 7 inches. This portion here I have at 3 feet wide, and then the top of the frame I think I have about 10 foot 1, 10 foot 2, somewhere right around there. Anything else in here that we want to speak of? The seating I have in the image was offset, so I did offset that, but that could be, this could be moved, to the center without an issue. And I think that's about it. So let's go ahead and see what type of heating we can do here. There's two options I have. Number one option would be placing two of the CD6024 6,000 watt 240 volts. Now you can see how I have them in midair. Essentially they're not mounted to anything structurally, so what you would have to do is with that matrix that we saw in the image there earlier, you would have to maybe take some steel cable and stretch that steel cable from one end to the other to support the heater. The heater's about 18 pounds each, so they're not very heavy, and then you could simply take the cable, mount another cable down to this portion here, and then strap that cable to the frame itself or the structural eyelet inside here, and then you can have it just supported by that cable and pointed straight to the ground. Now what I've done is I've taken these two units and centered them within the span of the 14, and then moved them so that they're 3 feet from center each, so 6 feet center to center. And we'll go ahead and look at the footprint of heat. But before we do that, let's go ahead and look at the clearances. Especially clearances above is critical here. We need 6 inches of clearance above the heater and then to the side of the heater. So we want to make sure that we drop this edge, whatever the closest element here is, down to that 6 inch when we drop our chain or cable down that supports the heater itself. So that's one thing. And then also looking at the clearances below, you can see there's no issue with that in reference to, especially again, this slope here. The clearance below is 18 inches from this bottom edge out, and then 36 inches down. So you can see with this application, that's not an issue. We're coming pretty close, but we're still within that clearance. And these are clearances. I don't see that there's a whole lot of heat that's out in this space here. It's just a clearance that needs to be met in order to make the application proper. All right, so let me turn those off, and we'll look at the footprint of heat with these two 6,000 watt units. And you can see that we have fairly decent coverage with two of the 6,000 watt units. You can also see here how my ray is penetrating the ground, and it actually is absorbed into the ground, so it doesn't physically come out here. But this heater is really designed for a little bit of a higher application as far as this is concerned. So if you were using the 6,000 watt units, I would highly recommend using a control system for a system like this. But you can see here how we get nice coverage with that 6 inch center to center spread, and We are missing the outside edges here slightly. The chair out here is not being penetrated up here like where your head and torso would be. So if you're of this type that would like less heat, this would be okay. If not, then I would suggest you use the alternative, which would be the next option, which would be using 4 of the 4,000 watt units. These are CD4024s, 4,000 watt 240 volts. And you can see how I have mounted it so that its bracket is just right here at the edge. We still want to make sure we're keeping the clearances above. So let's see if we have that on here. Clearances above. I think we're just barely meeting that clearance on the outer edge here. In fact, we're just a little bit compromised here, so we'll probably have to move that in. I would say probably 3 more inches into the center. So what I have here again is from here to here, center of heater to center of heater. I have at 6 foot center to center. So you might have to go somewhere in the nature of 5.5 feet center to center to minimize this clearance issue here. And that would take care of that. Now they're in the same positions this way here. So from center 3 feet out, center 3 feet out. And that's true here. Again, 3 feet out from center of structure to the center of the heater. And that makes, you know, each one 6 feet apart from each other. And again, we would have to make that adjustment for this, you know, top edge clearance. We're off just about an inch or 2 here, so keep that in mind. All right, so let me go ahead and throw on the bottom clearances. That should not be an issue. We might be close to this top corner here. Let's just see here, and we can see with that movement that we make of an inch or 2 inwards or to the left here in the image, this would not be an issue here. All right. So let's go ahead and turn that off. Look at the footprint of heat. Now, footprint of heat, here you can see that we're getting just about a nice uniform coverage throughout this whole entire space, which I think is perfect. And that would be something I would recommend. Now, you might want to have these on individual switches. You can duplex these and or put it on one whole control system where you'd have maybe 2 zones. This would be zone 1, this would be zone 2, and that way you can, you know, turn the left side up higher than the right, or however it is that you see fit. So, all right. Well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, please send your information to designs@patioheat.com. And if you don't mind, please hit that like button. It just helps others find our channel. We don't monetize, we don't advertise on YouTube, so they don't recognize us unless we get those thumbs ups. I appreciate that very much. Have a great day.